people point to where they think that when the planes hit those buildings, that there was detonations that caused Tower 1 and Tower 2 to fall. There's no way they would have fallen like that. Like, when people say, no, they heard things in the buildings, they heard explosions, people always say shit like that. And on top of that, if you're dealing with a building collapsing like that, you're going to hear a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, there are going to be explosions. Things are falling. There were people falling off the buildings.
So there's no limit to what you can do.
Which goes to Tower 7. That's another one that keeps coming up. See if you can find the video, Jamie. There's the video that shows what really happened in Tower 7. There's a guy who was a conspiracy guy. He was really deep into conspiracies. And then the more he started looking into Tower 7, the more he realized that everyone is just showing the very final video where Tower 7 collapses like a controlled demolition. And it looks exactly like a controlled demolition. However...
Hi, folks. Eddie Current here with my last video on this topic, at least for a while. A couple of weeks ago for the 9/11 anniversary, I made 2 videos debunking the ridiculous Hollywood fantasy.
If you find the full video, you see that the interior had collapsed moments before, like quite a bit before.
Edward Current, I think, is the guy who did that video.
I think that's exactly who it is.
So I wanted to try a little experiment, and I made a hoax video. Of Building 7 getting cartoonishly detonated and collapsing much faster than it did. And here's what the video looked like. Well, it immediately started a truther frenzy.
See if you can find that gentleman's video. But he shows how the top of it, you could see the top of Tower 7 give in, which is consistent with this idea that the diesel fuel that they had in the basement had created, wasn't it like diesel tanks?
Yeah, that was an early theory of the diesel fuel, that was actually fueling the fire, but they never found any evidence that actually the diesel fuel contributed to the fires. It was just regular office fires, which is what everybody finds so suspicious.
So the diesel never caught fire? Is that what they're saying?
They don't. It might have been after the collapse. I think they recovered one of the tanks with some diesel still in it.
So... series of diesel, likely fed by a series of diesel generators located in the lower floors, which is where most of the fires were concentrated. So at least one of the diesel tanks didn't light up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The theory, like NIST theory, is that the diesel had nothing to do with it. Okay. So NIST, which if you are a conspiracy theory person, they get really angry when you bring up NIST. Because they're the government. The government, man.
Maybe the future will see super light, super strong automobiles and airplanes made out of metallic glasses. At the National Institute of Standards and Technology, scientists spend their careers testing and retesting metals and alloys to better understand and exploit their unique properties.
I think this is an older video.
Yeah, this isn't the video, Jamie. Yeah. There's one by...
Edward Current.
Yeah. And what it does is it shows the top of the building cave in first, quite a bit before the rest of the building. Is that Edward Current?
Yeah. They noticed that it was basically a heavily altered and flopped version of the CBS video with all sorts of crazy detonations and a soundtrack added. Some of them even noticed the flying saucer.
So, is that Edward Current?
I only gotta find a good spot of the video to show it. So
okay.
Video, you know.
Yeah. So what happened? What they think was that the fire.
This didn't end up being legible, but a few seconds into the footage, I also added a hidden message. This is a hoax, gullible nut jobs. But despite all of the people yelling, it's fake, don't spread it.
That's a shitty design of a building, and the fire caused internal damage to all of the floors.
Well, first of all, you see there the World Trade Center 1 fell basically against the side of...
Hold on, I got something
else. Back of the building was all... Okay.
Just because I got something to say about that. the shitty designed building, that's not true. It was actually it was the most fortified building in the entire city of New York. That was where, if there was a nuclear attack or during hurricanes, everyone in the city, all the agencies, all of the electric power, they have their emergency bunker in that building. It was something like the sixth tallest building in the world, besides the Twin Towers, and it had been built and reinforced with 48 mainframes in the middle, which all had to give way at the same time for it to fall that way. So they all failed exactly at the same second. Otherwise, it would have fallen sideways, or it would have crumbled down like maybe the Twin Towers. But it collapsed straight down means all of the middle part, which were the CIA had their offices in there. Everyone in the military and in the emergency services had their offices in there. That's where they were supposed to go, in fact, during the Twin Tower attack. But they couldn't go in there because obviously it was on fire. But here, let's just see the news video.